The administration of Governor Agbu Kefas in Taraba State says it's determined to restore the lost glory of the civil servants in the state. The governor believes that civil servants cannot produce under a disorderly environment. He admits that it is the responsibility of his government to provide an excellent working environment for workers. On that, the governor is working assiduously to have ample knowledge of the working environment in which workers in the various ministries perform their daily functions. The assessment tour began as early as 8 a.m. His first port of call was the State Secretariat, which was built in 1994 by the Sani Abacha military administration. From there, the governor moved to the State Specialist Hospital and School of Nursing and Midwifery. But the deplorable state of the State Secretariat, which accommodates some commissioners and civil servants, is of concern to the governor, as the walls are gradually giving way. This building is now a habitat for reptiles, as previous administrations failed to renovate the structure. Some of the civil servants shared their experiences.
The Secretariat has been in existence for a very long time, and the structure itself has been undergoing depreciation. It has gone spoiled in so many instances. Like for instance, in the plumbing, when sometimes we have a situation where sewage used to come down to the floor level, and then you will find all the places messed up, and the odor is in some of the offices from the top. And of course, some places are cracked and they are looking as if they will give way anytime not too far from now. In fact, it has long been overdue for renovation, sir.
I have enormous challenges here. As you can see, the structure, the entire secretariat structure is in a very bad shape, dilapidated. A lot of challenges we face in the secretariat here, including our working place, our offices. As you can see, you went into my office and you saw how it is. The furnishing, the entire working environment is not conducive for effective civil service performance because of the dilapidated nature of the secretariat structure and the entire environment. If the governor will come into it, we expect that he should renovate the entire secretariat structure, put it in a very good working condition that the civil servants will enjoy it to operate inside.
The main challenges that we're facing in the secretariat here is that the roof of the secretariat is giving us problem. Like if there's rainfall, the rain will always disorganize the workers so that they'll run away and leave the work. So if the secretariat is roofed and maintained, then there will be peaceful coexistence and the workers will work together as a team. Yes, the toilets are there. Some of them are damaged, but they need to be renovated.
The governor also bared his mind after the tour.
To find out their condition and their state, it is from their assessment that we'll be able to make decision. So from what I have seen, there is much to be done. I think we need to focus on certain things that have been neglected because they are very fundamental. If we really want institutions to function, definitely we have to work on those institutions. We need to do the assessment as we've started, then see how we can rework them to make them to work so that people will be able to function where they're supposed to function. When the environment is not conducive, nothing works. You can see the schools, look at the children, they are on the floor. You see teachers holding cane, and some of them, because of fear, they have to just bear the situation, waiting for time so that the school time will be over for them to go back home. And they are not learning much because the facilities, the environment is not conducive for them. So it is our responsibility as a government to make things work. So there will be reform, and we're going to sit down. That's why you see the speaker is here with some of the members of the House of Assembly. We'll all sit down together. Taraba is our state. We'll rebuild things together. So that is what we are doing right now. And I'm sure people are waiting. What will he do 100 days in office? What we are doing is part of the activities for 100 days. You have to do an assessment, then you prioritize, then you begin to take them one after the other to make put structures or things in place that will last for long, not trying to impress people or trying to rush into things that have no direct bearing on the people. So you have to check the area of education. As I said, I've started. I have a very robust plan for that. We have to look at the health sector. We're looking at the civil service. We'll continue like that, and then we'll look at the security. We are on it. We are working very seriously on that, and very soon I'm meeting with the traditional institutions, the traditional ruler. We're going to discuss in depth on how security will go down to the grassroots, create that awareness, let everybody be involved. You don't leave the work only in the hands of the security agency. So I'm sure gradually, before you know what is going on, Taraba will be stable, will be united, will live in a safe place, and activities will pick up. We'll also go into agriculture. We'll train the young people, the youth, and that's why we had this the summit. We had the Youth Economy and Security Summit. People are working on the outcome of the summit. These are things that we use to form certain policies that we're going to drive to make sure that we achieve the purpose in which the people voted us in. There is very high expectation. The people are happy, the people are hopeful. They have full trust on us, and they know that we will do it. I have no business being a governor than to serve the people. I have finished working for myself. I've finished my life. Now is to live for people. And I don't think there is anything that is going to deter me from that. And I know that with the support from the people and the Almighty God, we're going to achieve a lot. So let Taraba people keep praying and be hopeful. Whatever I promise I will do with the cooperation of the legislatures, we are going to achieve it. So I want people to help us to the media to be part of these activities. Let's do it together as we are moving. And anything that you notice that you feel that we need to look at, don't hesitate. So I believe at the end of the day, all of us will be happy. So thank you very much. Governance, and especially when you are talking about administration, it requires training. There are stages and steps that you need to take for a civil servant to grow from one level to another. So all these things require resources. All these things require experience. So if staff don't go for training, you don't expect anything from them. There is training on the job, and there's also training from outside. So if a civil servant just sit down here in Taraba for 10 years, you see, you have locked his mind up. So he needs to go out, mix up with other people to see what is being done elsewhere, so that they can also bring that experience here. So what is happening, I don't blame them, because there is need for a reform. That's why I told you I'm carrying out assessment. I've seen the staff, they are willing. This visit is on schedule, but you can see that almost all the offices, the staffs are there. They are willing to work, but they need a drive, a direction. So I'm doing everything possible. Their salaries will be paid, and all these incentives, things that are necessary to make them function. We'll make sure we'll do our part so that they too will contribute. I've seen it. We will do it together. You know the situation we find ourselves in. The resources are limited, but we'll do everything possible. Step by step, we'll make things right. So they should bear it. Gradually, we'll take it from there. They too, they need refresher, they need training. Not only the buildings. So everybody needs innovation. So we're going to make sure we do our best.
To ensure the efficient operations of the various ministries, the permanent secretaries across all the ministries were invited to a meeting with the governor. Addressing them, the governor disclosed his intention to reduce the number of ministries for efficiency as well as reduce the cost of governance in the state.
As part of government activities, I called you here today for briefing. You can recall a few days ago I went on the secretariat. Some of you were in the office, some of you were not there. Let me assume you went for other official functions. It is very important that I should be seeing you people almost every day. Since you are not coming, I decided to ask you to come. So, before you have your commissioners, you have to function. And I'm not seeing you, so I decided I will see you, even though we spent so much time today, we won't be able to go into all the details. But however, for those that have their briefing concerning their ministry, you try to submit them through the head of service. We are working on trying to be specific in our dealings that we need for us to merge some of the ministries for proper result. So I will have more directorates, departments. We have departmental heads. It will help you to train and retrain people to be able to know and carry out their job effectively. So you have plenty commissioners, some of them will be confused along the line, they won't understand what you're talking about. But when you have a permanent secretary in the ministry with 4, 3, 6 directorates, and there's division of labor and specialization, you see, it becomes more effective. And so we are working on that. We'll see, consult some of you so that we'll get the best out of what you're doing. So just briefly, if you have your report, you will submit it, and then we'll ask one of the questions, and then we'll close for the day. Then we'll be interacting from time to time. Is that okay? Yes. Thank you.
Speaking to journalists at the end of the closed-door meeting, the Secretary to the Government of Taraba State, Barrister Gibbon Timothy Kefas, said Governor Agbu Kefas has issued a directive for the payment of monthly running cost to ministries. The SGS said the governor has also directed all local government staff and teachers that were not enrolled in the pension scheme to be captured and approved the sum of 72 million naira to sort out their pension payment. According to him, Governor Kefas also directed the school fees of the students of the State College of Nursing and Midwifery, Jalingo, be reduced by 50%. The SGS said the state government will commence the renovation work on the state secretariat to give civil servants a conducive environment to work in. He added that all ministries in the state will be reduced to 20 and that it would not affect the newly recruited staff in the state.
This meeting was at the instance of His Excellency Governor Agbu Kefas to interface with the head of service and the permanent secretaries. Since his inauguration, you recall that he had more time with the head of service than the permanent secretaries, and therefore it became necessary that he met the permanent secretaries to know all the issues and the problems in all the various ministries in order to provide solution to those ministries. So all the permanent secretaries have submitted their briefs, and government would look at each brief one at a time. And secondly, the meeting was very productive because there were some decisions taken that would go a long way in improving the workings of our ministries in the states and departments. It is in that regard that His Excellency has ordered the repayment of running costs in all the ministries effective June 2023. And His Excellency has further directed that this week all the local government staff, teachers and local government that were not enrolled into the pension scheme of the state, the money will be released, about 72 million naira will be released this week for all of them to be enrolled into the pension scheme. So these are the two very big news that our information that are coming out from the meeting. And then the big one, His Excellency, after visiting the School of Midwifery and Nursing, has ordered that effective immediately, the school fees payable by the student of Nursing and Midwifery, Jalingo, be reduced by 50%. So students will no longer pay 100%, but 50% of the present fee they are paying. These were the outcomes of the meeting. And of course, finally, His Excellency has said that government will commence the process of renovating the state secretariat to give the civil servant a conducive place to discharge the functions of their offices. And of course, he is continued to call for understanding that we are starting and things will definitely be turned around for good. And in his own word, because there's nothing inside the box, everyone will have to start thinking outside the box to providing solutions to the myriads of problems facing Taraba State, facing the civil servants of the state, facing the economy of the state, the security of the state, etc. So these were the highlights of the meetings we just held with His Excellency. Thank you very much. In merging the ministries, it is His Excellency's thoughts that the ministries will reduce to 20 in number, and by doing the merger, it will not affect the population of the civil servants. In fact, the head of staff is still complaining that she is still understaffed in most departments. So there's a likelihood that in some years to come, the state has to employ more civil servants into the system. So those who are recently employed will not be affected by the merger. Thank you very much. Thank you.
The governor similarly signed an executive order suspending mining activities, an order he said will curb criminality.
Distinguished citizens of Taraba State, today we gather here to address a pressing issue that has been plaguing our state. It is with a heavy heart that I announce the need for immediate action to curb the rampant mining and illegal mining activities that have been wreaking havoc on our environment, our communities, and our economy. As the governor of Taraba State, it is my solemn duty to protect the well-being of our people and preserve the precious resources that nature has bestowed upon us. Our state is blessed with abundant mineral wealth, but this blessing should not come at the cost of our environment and the livelihood of our people. Over the years, we have witnessed a surge in mining activities, both legal and illegal, which has caused significant damage to our ecosystems. The unregulated extraction of minerals has led to deforestation, soil erosion, water pollution, and loss of biodiversity. Our rivers have become contaminated, affecting the health of our people and jeopardizing our agricultural activities. Illegal mining, in particular, has become a cancer, eating away at the very fabric of our society. It has led to the exploitation of our vulnerable communities, increased crime rates, and contributed to social unrest. The revenue that should have been channeled into public welfare and infrastructure development has been siphoned away, leaving our people in their need. Therefore, in the best interest of our state and its future generations, I am signing this executive order for the immediate suspension of all mining activities. This decision has not been taken lightly, but it is a necessary step to preserve our environment and ensure sustainable development. This executive order will serve as a strong message to those who have been engaging in illegal mining activities. We will no longer tolerate the wanton destruction of our natural resources and the exploitation of our people. As a result, the law enforcement agencies will be empowered to take strict actions against anyone found in violation of this order. We will work hand in hand with the relevant stakeholders to ensure a smooth transition and explore alternative livelihood options for those that are affected. I am aware that this decision will have short-term economic implications, but it is essential for the long-term prosperity and well-being of our states. We will not abandon our commitment to economic growth, but it must be achieved through sustainable means. We encourage responsible mining practices that adhere to stringent environmental regulations and prioritize the welfare of our communities. Furthermore, I urge the federal government and our development partners to support our effort in restoring the damage caused by years of unchecked mining activities. We need their assistance in implementing the comprehensive comprehensive reforestation program, providing alternative employment opportunities, and strengthening our capacity for effective regulation and monitoring. In conclusion, therefore, I stand here today as the Governor of Taraba State, committed to protecting our environment, preserving our resources, and ensuring the well-being of our people. The suspension of mining and illegal mining activity is a critical step towards achieving these objectives. Together, let us embark on this journey of sustaining development and build a brighter future for Taraba State. Thank you, and may God bless Taraba State and the people.
No doubt, Governor Kefas is determined to achieve success to celebrate his administration's 100 days in office.